This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.
Hello everyone, I'm Mark Thompson with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Some tragic news to report. Former Maricopa County Attorney Alistair Adele passed away yesterday. Her husband saying that she died from health complications. Adele resigned from her position 2 months ago. She was 45 years old and leaves behind her husband and 2 children. Tonight, a vigil is planned for the 13-year-old boy that was hit and killed while riding his bicycle Tuesday. Dylan Buenceso, he was on his way home from school when investigators say 44-year-old Richard Romo hit him and then ran. Romo hit the teen and drove off. The teen's mom says right now she's lost and grieving and says her son was funny, loved, and left an impact on people's lives. Tragically, she says that she lost another son in a car crash less than a year ago.
I feel like, where do I go from here? I feel like, what's the meaning of my life now? I worry very much what's going to become of my daughter. Truly, it's more hurt and a sorrow from a mother's heart that I can never explain because this child was cherished.
The vigil is happening tonight at 7:30. Funeral services are scheduled for May 14th. Now to our wildfire watch and an update on 2 fires here in Arizona. We start with the tunnel fire. New details coming in overnight. Crews in the high country say the fire is now 92% contained, while the size remained the same at just over 19,000 acres. Meanwhile, the CROOKS fire is growing. Crews tell us that it's now burning more than 9,000 acres just south of Prescott and is 38% contained. Crews at both of those fires, they are concerned about the weather. Red flag warnings are in effect today for most of northern Arizona. Moving to our east, 1,000 firefighters in New Mexico are battling the largest active wildfire in the country. The Calf Canyon and Hermit's Peak fires, they are spreading rapidly and are threatening homes. The only good news there is that officials say the weather is improving, and it did on Saturday. Starting today, 2 fire bans from Maricopa County and the Phoenix Parks and Rec. That means no outdoor recreational fires will be allowed. This is all in an effort to prevent brush fires in the valley. The ban will stay in effect through September. Summer brings on the heat, and the city of Phoenix is already rolling out a heat reaction plan. The number of people dying from Arizona heat has jumped more than 400% since 2014. Last year, Maricopa County set a record high with 338 deaths related to the heat, most of them taking place in Phoenix. About half involved were people living on the streets, encouraging the city to launch a plan to keep residents safe.
Public cooling centers will generally come online May 1st, and that's a regionally coordinated effort. And then there are other specific elements like when particular trailheads close that are limited to particular days when the National Weather Service has an excessive heat warning in effect.
The city also wants to turn the old Department of Transportation building on Washington Street near 28th Street into a shelter.
Happy Sunday. I'm Nohelani Graf with your most accurate forecast. The winds are going to be picking up statewide today. Here in the valley, we're talking about 10 to 15 mile an hour winds with gusts up to 25 and even 30 miles an hour. 20 to 30 mile an hour winds blowing across the high country with those gusts at times reaching 45 miles an hour. Here in the valley, we're going to see the breezes light around 5 to 10 through noon. Then they pick up closer to 15 and maybe even 20 miles an hour in the second half of the day, right along with our warm up. 70s to start this morning, 80s by 10 o'clock, staying in the 80s through noon, and then we're in the 90s, topping out at 95 this afternoon. 90s to our south and to our west, 70s for the central portion of the state and north of the rim, a really mixed bag. 70s for Show Low, Heber, and Window Rock, 80s for Winslow and Page, but Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon staying in the 60s today. Here in the valley, those breezes back off for your Monday. Our temps stay in the low 90s, but the breezes will return Tuesday before we warm back into the upper 90s by Thursday through next weekend.
And for the very latest headlines, weather, and traffic, head to ABC15.com or download the free ABC15 mobile app. Have a great day.
This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.